Morning. We'll take you through some advanced techniques on using LAMUM 6.2. We'll start off with a few slides and then we'll go live to the product so you can see some of these techniques in real time. Let's talk about the LAM side of our tool, which stands for License Asset Manager. This is where we keep track of our assets, our inventory, our vendor information, our tool information, our PO information if we choose. This side of the tool is at a URL which ends in 8181, port 8181/LAM. So you can set up a favorite in your browser. Hopefully you've already done this, and it will take you right to the login page for LAM. This is a side where you can enter line items. It can be a tool, specific tool, or it can be a bundle, a vendor-specific bundle. This is where we track inventory, and this is where we enter the either tool or bundle that we want to monitor for usage, typically a FlexLM or a Reprise style of license. The next question that you need to ask is, do you want to monitor every feature, usage on every feature, or specific features related to a specific tool? As an example, research suggests that only 50% of the features in the license key really need to be monitored. The rest of those are supporting or utility features which don't really tell you whether you need more or less of a specific tool. So with LAM, you can be specific on what features you want to monitor, and that might only be one or two or three features for any given tool. If you're putting in line items, if your line item is a bundle, you can also select specific features to monitor, or you can just monitor everything if you like. The other question is do you want to connect the tool or bundle to its corresponding license file? So if you can browse to the license file, that's probably the preferred method, and that will allow you to do the parsing and selection of specific features to monitor. Or you can connect the tool or bundle to its corresponding ported host. If you do use the ported host approach, though, then you'll end up seeing every feature over on the usage monitoring side. Over on the usage monitoring side, that is at port 8182/LAM monitors. So again, you could set up a different favorite that will take you to 8182/LAM monitor, and that will give you direct entry into the usage monitoring side of the tool. Accordingly, these URLs create specific report pages. So if there's a casual user who wants to see a specific feature, specific report on a specific tool, you can give them the specific URL and they can create a favorite in their browser that will always take them to that page. That's called direct access to favorite usage. I'll also show you how to create multiple graphs in the same report page, how to capture and reuse graphs. The graphs in UM are all JPEG images, so you can copy, paste, save, email, whatever. I'll show you how to do that. The tables in UM are all exportable to Excel, and you can use those Excel spreadsheets for doing chargebacks or performance evaluations of specific users or groups of users. We'll also cover group creation in this tutorial, and a little bit on alerts, although alerts are covered in a separate tutorial on our website, but we do offer alerts for expirations or expiring license keys or features. Daemon down alerts if a server or daemon goes down, long checkouts. You can set up rules for checkout of specific features, and if the rule is violated, not only can you send an alert to somebody, but you can also send a warning letter automatically to the violator. And then the capacity threshold alerts can be set up if you want to be notified when you're at or near capacity being the concurrent checkout load versus what you own. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So let's go live now, but if you do need help at any time, please feel free to contact us at support@teamed.com, and this is our phone number. Please call us. We'd love to help. So let's go live, and let's go right to the asset management side of our tool. And this is the 8181 connection here, and this brings you live. There is a login required for this particular page, and hopefully when you install our software, you put your logo in. That would appear here as well as on every page on the asset management side. Again, these asset management tabs are only available to those that have a username and password and can log in. So as I mentioned earlier, at the LAM level, these line items could be specific tools or they can be bundles. Let me show you real quickly how you can put in, let's say, an Autodesk bundle. I know we've done this before, so there is an Autodesk bundle already in here, but if there wasn't, you could add it right here under Add New Tool. So let's go to add. Let's just add an Autodesk bundle, and it's going to be a bundle, so it's just quantity 1. You could put in the expiration date here if you want. It'll automatically pick it up off the license file. And you can choose license file by selecting one of the existing, if this happens to be an Autodesk license available here, it's the correct one. You can select that by clicking the radio button, or you can add new and browse to the specific license file. The other approach is to just select ported host. In this example, we can add a new ported host if there isn't an Autodesk ported host available, but I know there is one already here, so we'll just use the existing ported host for this Autodesk bundle, and we're done. So that's pretty much all you need to do. Here's the line item that we just put in, Autodesk bundle, quantity 1. We could put in the restriction, whether it's WAN, LAN, or some version thereof. It could be specific site. Again, notice we can track node lock licenses in here. We've even got a laptop somebody put in here. Not recommending, though, that you track your hardware in here. But this is the restriction. This would be the purchase type if you wanted a subscription, or perpetual without maintenance, perpetual with maintenance. You can have multiple other kinds of purchase types if you like. The expiration date, and then who is responsible for it. In this example, I didn't put in somebody, but let's say that I'm responsible. So I just go in here and say Guy Haas is the responsible person and submit it. So now our Autodesk bundle shows Guy Haas. I can even filter. Let's say I want to see everything in inventory that I'm responsible for. So real quickly, I've just sorted the list, and now you can see the list of stuff that you're responsible for. This list can be exported to Excel if you like, XML or CSV. So those are some of the things that I mentioned about the asset management side of the tool. Let's go to the usage monitoring side of the tool. You might have noticed that there's 2 rows of tabs. The top row of tabs has to do with asset management. That's the LAM side, and the bottom row of tabs has to do with usage monitoring. If you come in through port 8181 and you username and password login, you can see all of this. You can see both rows. But there is a way to come in on port 8182 directly, and notice, we'll go to the Home tab here. Notice there's only 1 row of tabs now, and you might notice here's port 8182 LAM monitor. So if you want to give somebody, let's say a user is interested in MATLAB, a casual user is interested in MATLAB, and they want to look at, let's say, a graph. They want to look at the last 30 days of MATLAB. Let's go to MATLAB. MATLAB. Too much coffee this morning. All right, so this is MATLAB, and let's say that they're interested in a 30-day view of MATLAB. So quickly, we've generated our 30-day graph. This shows our usage graph, as well as this is a couple of pie charts that have to do with the duration, who our top 10 users are in terms of duration of checkouts, as well as the number of checkouts, as well as our usage graph. Let's say we want to send this graph. So, well, before I do, let me point out that this URL creates this view. So if somebody, a casual user, has an interest in MATLAB and they want to be able to look at last 30 days at any point in time, notice that this is last 30 days. This happens to show this time period here. All you need to do is give them this URL. Copy that URL, send it to them, tell them to relabel it as a favorite, call it MATLAB last 30 days, and whenever they click on that favorite in their browser, it'll create this page for them. It'll take them right here. And notice they won't be able to access any of the asset information or the admin. There's another tab here that's missing called the admin tab. But they can have access to other stuff here if they like. So that's a quick way of creating direct access for casual users. I also wanted to point out how we can create multiple charts. So this is just a 30-day graph, but you could easily create, let's say we want to do, 30-day, we want to create 3 different charts. So now I'm doing today's graph right here. This is today's graph, and this is a 7-day graph, and this is the 30-day graph, all at one URL. So that URL could actually create all 3 periods if you like. So you can do multiple graphs on the same page if you like. The other thing you can do with this is, let's say that there's a particular chart that you want to send somebody. Let's say that this is this duration chart, which shows the top 10 users for the last week. You want to send that to your boss. All you need to do is right mouse click, since this is a JPEG image. You can save it as a picture, you can email it as a picture, you can print it as a picture, but I'm just going to copy and stick it in an email. So if I just bring up my Outlook, create new, and do a paste, I'm now ready to send this off to somebody, with a note or something like that, to share the information, So I'm not going to save that, of course. But I just wanted to show you, how to create multiple views on the same page, how to copy. Any one of these can be copied and pasted or emailed and sent to somebody, since these are each individual JPEG images. By the way, this red line is what you own. The blue is what's checked out, and that was today's graph, so you don't see the average, but here you see the average. The blue line is the average. It says right here, average usage. The other one I wanted to show you is details, but let me start with groups. Under groups, you can create groups by selecting group maintenance, and here's where you can add a new group name. Here's where you manage groups, and we have several groups already in here. I just want to give you an idea of what a group can be. You can make up any names you want. A group can be a name of a person, so maybe Dick Powell has a team under him, and you want to track Dick Powell's team under the group name Dick Powell. You can also create groups that are identified with a site. And if you look at, here's Site 1, who's in Site? These people are all in Site 1. So a site, a group can be anything you want it to be. In Dick Powell's case, if we list, these are the people, there's 2 other people in Dick Powell's group, so we can track those 2 people individually. And these are just quick ways of adding people. You can add a person to multiple groups. If we did a Foyt, for instance, he's a member of group 2 and he's at Site 1, so you could have a Foyt in multiple groups if you like. This is a quick way to add in specific individuals to specific groups. So I could add a Foyt to group 3 that way, and so forth and so on. Once you've created groups, then you can look at history by group. Let me just show you an example of, since we were using MATLAB. Let's look at group detail for MATLAB for the last 30 days. Let's see what each group has, how much has each group used MATLAB. So this is Dick Powell. These are the 5 groups that we had created, as you recall, and we can sort this by the total time of usage. So Site 1 is used the most, and so forth and so on. This can be dumped out to Excel if you need to charge back for usage on MATLAB to these different groups. All you do is dump that out. If I click on that, it'll ask me, do I want to open it, and it creates the Excel graph for me. Let's go ahead and do it. So here it is. It's exactly the same information, but now it's in Excel. I don't want to save that. Let's look at history. Let's look at group history, specific groups. So this group detail under here allows us to specify a specific group. So let's just look again at let's look at that Site 101, and let's see how much Site 101 has used, or what Site 101 has used in the last 7 days. So this is a 7-day chart of Site 101. All the users. This list can be very long. It probably will be in this demo. But this is everything that Site 1 has used, and not just MATLAB, but all products. You can see this is a long list here. And then at the bottom of this list, you can actually, there's again, dump to Excel, and it'll take this whole list, this whole schedule, and dump it out to Excel, and it'll add another column out here called minutes. And basically what it does is it takes this usage here and converts everything into minutes. So this would appear here as 96 minutes. This would appear, of course, as 50 minutes or 1 minute or 104 minutes and so forth. So then you can actually easily apply chargeback rates if you like. So that's a group detail report, and this can be dumped out as Excel and used for chargeback purposes and so forth. So I've really covered everything. You probably already know about concurrency charts. Again, if you want, you can have multiple charts on the same page. Let's look at 3 different levels of concurrency. So this is MATLAB today, and we've only had an instance of 1 concurrent checkout and 2 concurrent checkouts today. And then there's this for 7 days and this for 30 days. So you have all 3 charts for concurrent usage of MATLAB on one page. And again, that's all captured in this URL. We talked about groups. The alerts, this is where you set up your capacity threshold alerts, and it's done by specific tool. So if I wanted to create MATLAB, for instance, well, I've already got 2 MATLAB alerts set up. One, we own 10 licenses of MATLAB, so if we were at capacity, this person would get an alert. If we were near capacity, 80% of capacity, we set up a rule here, this person might get an alert. So a lot of different ways you can set up alerts here for capacity threshold. Demon down is pretty much if you have any red lights, a daemon goes down or a server goes down, it'll look every 30 minutes. We have this set to 30 minutes. These people will get alerted. That's demon down. Expiration alerts has to do with the time of expiration. So if we look, say, at the MATLAB expiration dates, the MATLAB is expiring this date, so 30 days before that date, this person would get an alert. 15 days before that expiration date, this person would get alert. So you can get different people warned of expiring licenses, and this is tracking actual ported host expiration dates, so it's real accurate. And then lastly, long checkout alerts would be things like, if we go back to our MATLAB example, we have 2 MATLAB alerts set up here for long checkouts. We have a limit of 2 days. If somebody has MATLAB checked out for more than 2 days, this person gets an alert, and a warning letter will go to the user. And the warning letter is down here. So if you answer yes when you set the alert up, they'll get the warning letter that's here. Now this is the template that we provide. You can modify this and say whatever you want to the violator. It's totally up to you. These are the variable fields that you can insert into the boilerplate letter, and then you get a preview. So whatever you do up here, you update that, and then you'll get a preview. And right now, this is what the letter would look like that gets automatically emailed. Now, for a lot of these alerts to work, you have to have your Active Directory links set up. And that's done over, again, we have to go back over to the admin tab to do that. So just remember, if you want to use your alerts, you do need to have Active Directory set up so that we know how to get to the violators, because that's coming through as a user ID. Also, the Active Directory will help us look when you do a current report, it gives you the user ID, and if you want to know who and where they're located, what their phone number is, what their email is, you're going to have Active Directory set up. And of course, in order for the email alerts to work, you have to have the mail server set up. And we can certainly help you through this process, and that's all under the admin tab here. So I think we've covered everything in the advanced training session that we really wanted to. I would encourage you to call us if you have any questions at 603-656-5200 or support. We'd be happy to help you. Thank you very much for your time today.